Good morning and welcome back to Morning Express. It is 6:41 a.m. on this Monday, the 5th of January 2015. Morning Express is delighted to be back on air and with you every morning. And joining me in studio is David Ohito. He is the editor of the Standard Digital, and we want to get into the press review, telling you about some of those stories that are covered for you today. Of course, the headline in the Standard: Fidel Odinga and tracking Fidel inside the final hours of Raila's son. Where were you when you received the news of his death? Shocking it was for everybody because he wasn't unwell. Well, at least many think he wasn't. And no accident. It's just tragic and untimely all of a sudden.
Very, really shocking. And I was taken aback. Actually, I was taking my children back to school yesterday.
Yeah.
I traveled by public bus. I just dropped them. And then we decided with my wife and our last month that we were going to church. So inside the church, my phone was on silent, but I kept feeling the vibrations. I was at the NPC Valley Road, and the Holy Communion was being served. I'd actually picked my bread. So when I saw persistent calls, I knew something was amiss, and just got out of church. And we started piecing together the story. I rushed to the newsroom in a motorbike because my car was blocked. I couldn't drive off. Yeah. So that is how I got the news. And then we straight on went to start piecing together breaking news. Yeah. And tracing the final moments of this young man.
Indeed, it took the country by shock yesterday, and using witness statements, we retraced the steps of the flamboyant man called the General. That's his name. The friends used to call him that before he met his untimely death. So he had a normal day the day before, that's Saturday. We understand he was at the Honorable Raila Odinga's home early in the afternoon and early morning, spent with them the day, and then went out over his business. And those who saw him said he was cheery and of good, cheer, as you'd like to put it, and just had a normal day.
Yeah, just a normal day. The death still remains mysterious, and I think without speculation, this is the time really to take our good investigators to task, to tell Kenyans the truth that really caused the death of this young and promising Kenyans who has enjoyed a lot of tribute from both political divides. And really sad. The problem with Kenya is that I don't remember a single death investigation that has been done conclusively, from James Karaoke, Tom Boya, Robert Ouko, Mtula Kilonzo, Kajwang, really just waiting to see how will the death of Fidel Odinga be uncovered by the detectives. And I really can't blame Kenya's top detectives, Ndegwa Mohoro and company. I think they're ill-equipped to carry out some of these investigations properly. But the mere fact that there was undue waiting at the home of Fidel himself, the body was kept there for about 10, 12 hours, shows you that there really is mystery that people want to unravel. Yeah.
All right, and if you want to just get some of those details, a clearer, better understanding of what Fidel's day looks like, the Standard has it covered for you also across pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. More details of the same, and just the pictures going into the second page, those final steps. There are pictures there of mourners that were gathered at his home in Karen, also at the Lee Funeral Home where the body was taken later on in the day. And there's also the former Prime Minister there. Of course, many reports indicating that for most of the day yesterday he was beside his son's body in his room in Karen where he died, and that he did not leave that his side. And also when they moved to Lee Funeral Home was there with him. So the eldest son, this has definitely shaken the court leader.
Not that in a way you can easily describe. Those of us who have covered Raila Odinga in excess of 20 years really try to understand the gentleman. He's been a very strong personality, going back to his history. I spent last evening reading his biography, and I tried to see how he has gone through hell on earth. And I think for Raila Odinga, this was equivalent of his days back in detention again, some of the saddest moments he's ever had in life. And I think reading from the recollection of friends and family, Fidel was actually within the family, like heir apparent of Raila Odinga. He was one of the most active of the 4 children in his politics, occasionally accompanying him to the high-profile rallies and political meetings, keenly following the goings-on within his political activities. And I think for me, it's like a sledgehammer. It has really undercut his belly. Yeah. Raila was crestfallen as much as Ida was. It was really a sad moment to see those two, the couple that is the Odingas. Yeah. It was more than pain of just losing a child. Yeah. And when you try to reconstruct the life of Fidel within the Raila family, you know, there was one section I was reading in Sarah Eldakin's biography, how Raila had just come out of detention and there was pressure from him, from his father Jaramogi, that he should establish his home in Bondo. And he had to carry Fidel through the traditional way of establishing a Luo homestead, letting him carry an axe, you know, and going with him to the first day where to establish a home. So for me, Fidel has been very central in the Raila family, and really a very big blow, which perhaps explains why Raila has remained silent all these hours, only talking to friends and being condoled. I think it's really a sad moment for him, and we'll be waiting to see what will be the words coming out of his lips.
Of his lips when he finally does speak.
Sure.
I mean, some of those messages that came through from the president, the deputy president, and other Kenyans eulogizing Fidel Odinga, was one common thread was that no parent should have to bury their child. I mean, it's difficult because you bring somebody into this world, this amazing human being, and you never hope or want or desire that they go and leave the earth before you. So really
Sad, and I think for me the pain is more with even Ida than it is with Raila Odinga, because Ida Odinga took care of these children alone while the husband Raila was in detention. And they really grew up not knowing their father for a very long time. So I really feel sorry for that old lady. She must have gone through hell yesterday and tried to recount how unfair sometimes life can be.
Yeah, also leaving behind a young wife, 1-year-old baby. Yeah. So sad, he'll grow up not knowing his father.
I tell you, it happens in life, but I think this gives them strength. If they can surmount this, I think he's headed for better things.
Yeah, definitely we'll be waiting for that. But also it was widely speculated that 2017 he would have vied for the Kibra constituency seat.
Yes, he had shown signs of political engagement and involvement. There's no doubt he was warming up to Kibra seat. And I think he was just giving that time that let us not all run. Remember, in the last election, there was Raila's sister, who is the deputy governor in Kisumu, and then there was Oburu Oginga, who was running for Senate and was later on nominated as MP. And I think it would have been mouthful for one family to have several dots competing in politics from all the places. If you ask me, I think Fidel was wise enough to not to contest in the last general election.
Yeah, so we'll definitely await the result of the post-mortem examination and other details that may emerge today and in coming days, and keep you updated on the same. But grab yourself a copy of the Standard. It has got lots of coverage, detailed coverage on that story.